Hello. So at the end of the last video I showed you how to make a stencil from some of your horse drawings and using the stencil to make some pictures with paint, with coloured pencils, and I said hang on to the bit that you cut out. You could call this a mask. Stencils you draw through, masks you can do other things with. So there's the couple of masks that I made. And you can see here that I've been using it on different sorts of paper, patterned paper, wrapping paper, as something with it which I can outline. How does that go that way? That's it. So I can use it for drawing round. So with this stripy paper, if I just hold it in place, I can just use it to get an outline. And I can cut that out and use that to build up some pictures. Well, I could use it to decorate something, or I could use it to build up some pictures of one or many horses. So I'll pause that just while I do that. So I've drawn it out onto some stripy paper on the back, and I'm cutting it out. I've actually done it so that the stripes go across the horse. And now I'm thinking I wished I'd done it so they went up and down the horse. Oh, got a bit there to cut out. So I've got some different horses. I've got a leopard spot horse. I've got a shiny Christmas wrapping paper horse. So I could make cards out of these. I could decorate a book or something with them, or I could put together some sort of picture, a field with horses in. I could do some more collage. That stripe going in the other direction could almost be a bit like grass. That's some more of it. You could have something along the bottom. So you'll work out some things to do. But that's one thing you could do with the mask. Another thing you might try with the mask is a kind of rubbing technique. So if you have any wax crayons, I'll take one of a yellow one here. And I'll put the horse down there. These crayons are quite good because they're flat, square ones. If you've got round, cylindrical ones, try the side of the crayon first. And don't press too hard, because I'm sort of trying to find where the horse is. So if I don't press too hard, I won't get too much crayon down. Once I've found where the horse is and I don't want it to move, I will press a bit harder. But so a bit like taking a brass rubbing, you can take a rubbing of your horse and maybe press a bit harder. Once you know where it is, you'd like it to be stronger. Doesn't necessarily have to be stronger, but could be interesting. So you can make it a bit stronger like that. And then you might take a different coloured crayon and let's do a whole group of horses. So we'll make this one orange. Same again, I'm trying not to press so hard at the beginning while I find where it is. I might need to decide which one's in front. Is the yellow one in front? In which case I'll try not to lose that yellow tail. I can make this stronger. So I could do several horses like that. Do another yellow one. Bit of a stampede. So you get the idea like that, but then it's quite nice. You could just stop at that, or you could get some watercolor paint and now that this is painted with the wax crayon, I could do some grass like this. And can you see, because the wax crayon is waxy, it resists the paint, the watercolor paint. So although there's some bubbles there on the yellow, I can wipe them off or just leave them as they are. I could do a little bit of, I've got some light blue. Do something of a sky over here. So again, it's an idea that you can try. You'll work out what colours you want to use, where you want to put the horses, and so on. And working with that combination of wax, crayon, and watery paint, you'll be able to build up a picture. And that can be wiped off, or maybe some of it shows through, and that's okay. Or you could put wax back on top. So that's one or two things you can do with the mask. Make up some pictures using it as a way of drawing round, cutting out and building up some patterned animals, or you could use the wax crayon on top to build up a rubbing that you then put paint on top. So before I show you a few things that you might do to finish your horse sculpture, to decorate it in the sense of putting on details of eyes and pattern, mane and so on, I just wanted you to see what I've been doing, but to see it from lots of different angles, because when you make a sculpture you can really enjoy it from different angles. It's three-dimensional, and it's quite good when you're doing your work to check it from different angles. So I've put mine onto some feet so that it can stand up, although if you look at it, it looks like it's going around the corner. I'll pause there. I just want you to see it from different angles. Now I'm going to show you some next steps. So firstly I'm going to show you, make some suggestions about how you might do something of the colouring of the horse. I've painted it, you can see. I just chose one colour, a kind of sandy colour, to go all over. And then different horses have different patterns. I'm going to take some, I did this with acrylic paint, so I'm going to give it some markings. You'll probably know about this better than I would do. Sometimes horses have a bit of a mark on their forehead. I'm sure I've seen horses this colour that have got a whole pattern of white and brown across their body. So I would check out some examples. Very often, do they not have lighter ankles? So you could do something like that, having covered it with the main body colour. You could then try some patches of a different colour, some lighter patches, and then I might do some dark as well. I'm just cleaning my brush, and I wonder if a horse like this might have, might at least have a darker nose. Sometimes the backs of the ears. Or I might have put some pink on the inside of the ears. That's also quite a nice way to add colour. and then maybe darken the tail. I won't put much paint on the tail because I'm going to put some mane on, and I might use the same effect on the mane on the tail that I use on the mane. So some painting. You might start with your main colour first, let that dry, and then put on some patterns. Light ankles, maybe dark hooves. So you do the big areas first, and then gradually you're doing smaller areas. I'd said in order for my horse to stand up, I also just stuck on some discs of card. Just helps it stand up a little bit. Mine wants to fall over. I want to keep that one leg up, so I've added an extra bit there so that that leg that's off the ground can still touch the ground. But you do some colouring like that, and then I always recommend you cut out eyes. So with a bit of black packaging, I've just cut out a couple of black ovals, and I've got some of this quick drying glue, which always pours out of the packet. So I pick up the eye on my finger and put a tiny bit of the glue on. But put too much glue on, it'll stick to me. Is that in a good place? I think it should go higher. Something like that. I think it's really worth sticking the eyes on, because I think it works better than just painting a dot. And then lastly, I've got some wool here for making a mane. Is it the right colour wool? Not really. But you would have the right colour wool, I'm sure. I'm just going to cut some lengths. And see what to do. Probably you'd put it like that, wouldn't you? So what I could do is put a bit of wool down, not a bit of wool, a bit of glue down here, and then stick on some mane, and then perhaps trim it afterwards. Those might be a better length. So the mane would go on like that, and then I might even need to glue it down here a bit more. And then give it a bit of a trim. At the horsey barber. Right, that needs to be glued all the way down. So there are the next steps I suggest you take with your sculpture. To, having painted it, see about whether you want to stand it up. I've put these discs, but you could put it all onto a single piece and even paint that piece green, grassy green. Paint on some patterns if you want to do that. Darken the nose is an idea. Some patterns on the face. Cut out eyes, and try out some ways of perhaps using wool or string to make a mane. So that's got a rather unusual hairdo. But this is my horsey sculpture, more or less brought to its conclusion and seen from different angles. So do let me know how you get on. I'd love to see pictures of your horse sculptures and any of the things you can do with the stencils and the masks. And this afternoon, so I'm showing you this on Saturday, this afternoon, if people can send me pictures, I'll send them back to you all, give you a bit of a gallery, an exhibition of all the work produced in the Easter Art School. So good luck with that. Bye bye.